Laser sights will make you a more accurate and confident shooter by providing visual feedback on sight alignment and trigger control. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Welcome to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, where a right is always a right, not a privilege.
All right, back with you, Tom Gresham, 866 Talk Gun. In a few minutes, I want to tell you about this movie. It's a good movie. Actually, I've been on the set when they were filming it. It's got some really good gun parts in it. It's a faith-based movie, and the movie rating outfit gave it a rating of R because of some of the firearms use in it. Now, I'll tell you a little bit more about that, but it's really going to hammer this movie as far as its ability to make any money and to be shown. But it's just more of the same. It really is. Christmas time is coming. Whether it's stocking stuffers or serious gifts, it's that time, whether you're buying for somebody else or for yourself. One of the companies that makes very cool stuff, very useful things, serious tools, we like to have them on every year around this time, is SureFire. Andrew Wright just joins us right now from SureFire. Hey, Andrew, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. Listen, you couldn't hear, but before you came on last hour, we had a guy call in. He was telling a story about his dad traveled. He was supposed to be away for a week. His mom had a gun. Dad comes home early. She hears somebody drive up, door open. She's got the gun out. And my response to that was yes, and that's why you need to have a serious flashlight or weapon-mounted light or something, because just because something's in your house doesn't mean it is something you should shoot. I'd love to have you talk about that for a sec.
Yeah, Tom, that's something that we hear a lot of as far as success stories and true stories written in from customers of ours, whether it's a kid, sneaking out and coming back in, or it's just a neighbor looking for their lost pet. You absolutely need to be able to identify what you're pointing your firearm at to make sure that there's no, drastic accidents that can occur. So it's an essential item for just about anybody with a firearm.
I know it doesn't seem like it's possible, but there may be some people out there who don't actually know the name SureFire. Can you give them some background on this amazing company?
Yeah, definitely. So we've been manufacturing lasers and weapon lights for coming up on 40 years. So this coming year will be our 40th anniversary, which is a big deal for us. And basically invented the tactical light.
Yes.
We make, very high output tactical lights for military, law enforcement, and then demanding civilians and, law-abiding citizens. And we've been doing it, like I said, for 40 years, and we manufacture right here in Southern California.
You actually established the entire category of these small tactical lights that so many of us have now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you remember the Terminator movie, the big laser that's on top of that 1911, that AMT hardball, that's actually one of our first products. So we were making lasers for law enforcement way back in the late 70s and, evolved into tactical lights, and it's just kind of ran from there.
And the evolution of these tactical lights, and I was using them early on, the biggest thing to happen, for at least from my standpoint, looking on the outside looking in, I don't know about within the industry, but the biggest thing from my standpoint was when LEDs became good enough and bright enough, right?
Yeah, that was a big turning point in the industry for sure. The efficiency level is just through the roof on LEDs, so you're able to get a whole lot of output out of real small, lightweight products, which obviously is good for the tactical market as far as concealed carry goes. No matter actually who you are, you're benefiting from that for sure.
The other day we had, my wife had some ladies over one evening. It's dark these days. I was out in the driveway, and I had two of your tactical flashlights illuminating their way out of the cars and down the driveway and the walkway. And it was just funny because I'm thinking, I use a pocket flashlight, I'll bet you 10 to 15 to 20 times a day. It's incredible how many times I pull out a flashlight and look at stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Having a tool like that is, it really changes your life. I mean, you'll find yourself using it on a daily basis easily, if not multiple times per day.
And I've given them to a lot of people, and they all say the same thing. They say, And a year later, they'll say, hey, I've got my flashlight with me. It's like, if I have my phone and my wallet, I have my flashlight. It's that important to me now.
Yeah, definitely, and especially with products like you said, LED products that can get real small, like our Sidekick. I always have, at minimum, a Sidekick in my pocket, which is 300 lumens of light and enough to get me and navigate out of pretty much any situation.
Interesting point. Talk for a second about what do we need in the way of lumens, because there seems to be kind of an arms race in lumens, and I think it's probably also an area where there's an awful lot of BS being thrown around.
Sure. So being that we manufacture the products, we try to not be too polarized on the different mindsets because, there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat, and there's a lot of different mindsets in that. Mm-hmm. One camp is that, you can have too many lumens. The other one is that you cannot. But in essence, our kind of outlook on it is the more light you have, the more information you have to make decisions. So you're only going to be benefited by it. I'd say nowadays, the minimum output for a light as far as tactical light goes is 100 lumens at the bare minimum. Right. Ideally, it's something up to more like 300 or 500 lumens as far as tactical lights go.
And it doesn't take a big light these days to get to 300 or 400.
No, it doesn't. Like I said, that Sidekick, the pocket light, it's a keychain light. It's micro USB rechargeable, super lightweight, and that thing has an output of 300 lumens. So you can do it with real small packages nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, it literally is a keychain light with 300 lumens, which is absolutely was unthinkable even 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's 3 times as bright as much larger lights that were in the past.
Question I'm sure you guys get all the time. Okay, you invented the category, but now there are a lot of other folks out there, and there are people making cheaper lights. Why SureFire?
I would say, it's many reasons. Number one, obviously, is the quality. We do everything that we can in-house, which is pretty much just everything. We even do our own PCBs, our own boards in-house. And that's to maintain a really high level of quality down to the individual piece part components. And that's shown all the way through as far as failure rates go and how long people have our lights for. We have, countless customers that have had our lights for over a decade, even longer, and they're still running. So we build the most high-quality products in the category. Obviously, again, you're also contributing to an American manufacturer. Like I said before, we manufacture in Southern California. We're very proud of that and the hundreds of employees that we employ.
All right, and give me your 1-minute pitch on why people should at least consider having a light on their handgun, their personal defense gun, either their carry gun or their home gun.
Yeah, I think that's an easy sell. As we mentioned before, it happens all the time where you hear a bump in the night, you're obviously groggy, you're not in the best decision-making mode, and you need to be able to identify what you're pointing your firearm at. I mean, that's part of the firearm safety rules. You shouldn't be shooting at anything you can't identify, and you need that flashlight to identify that it's a threat or a non-threat. It's an absolutely essential piece of
Sure.
gear.
I mean, you get up, you hit a bump, you hear a noise, you hear something, and your heart rate's going 220, and you got a wet spot in your shorts, and you're going down the hallway, and, you need light. I mean, and people go, well, I'll give my position away. Don't worry about it. You need light. Of course, the other part of that is, and I'm going to throw this out, and Andrew, I know you're in on this one, is training. It seems like it's a flashlight, it's a weapon-mounted light. How hard can it be? But you'd be amazed at what you can do with it once you have some training. It can do more than you're aware of.
100%. I mean, you can use it as a tool as well to disorient. It's more than just a flashlight. But just having it, it's not really enough. It's a big jump, but you should get training, get repetitions with activating it, with using it, knowing the ins and outs of it, so that, when it really matters, you're proficient with it for sure.
Okay, give me 2 or 3 of your products. You say these are the things you guys need to be looking at for Christmas buying gifts right now. Lay them out.
Well, it just so happens that we're in the Black Friday sale. So that Sidekick that I mentioned earlier is currently on sale for $19.95, which is crazy.
What? Wait. I'm on your website right now. It says it's $79.99. How much is it now?
It's going to be it's $79.95 normally, and it's dropped down to $19.95. So for about $20, you can pick up a Sidekick, grab some stocking stuffers for the family. Again, that's one of the items that I'll always, at minimum, have with me because it's so small, so lightweight, and convenient.
I'm going to buy some of those. That thing's great. For $20, I'm going to get some.
I'm buying some for all my brothers and sisters. So
yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, we have the XC2, which I think you're familiar with. It's a compact AAA-powered weapon light and laser combination. Great for CCW. Normally that thing is $449. Again, for that special right now, it's $249. So almost $200 off that. Real great buy.
That's amazing. I'm on board, man. I mean, you know me. I don't walk out of the house without having a light in my pocket. So I'm going to grab a whole bunch of those sidekicks. That's a heck of a deal right there. Andrew, thank you so much, and thanks the guys at SureFire. You guys are a great American company, and I love having you on.
Thank you very much, Tom. Always a pleasure.
All right, take care. SureFire.com if you want to take a look at that. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. When we come back, we'll get your range reports. I'm also going to tell you about how the movie industry is trying to keep this movie down by giving it this rating. It'll keep you from seeing it.
Want your next gun purchase to be fast and hassle-free? Well, at galleryofguns.com, you can search through thousands of models from our huge firearms inventory. Find a great offer from a local dealer that includes all fees and taxes. And there's no need to arrange a transfer. Gallery of Guns takes a small deposit on your credit card, and your gun will be at your chosen dealer in as little as 48 hours. Plus, your gun will be covered by our guaranteed lifetime replacement warranty. Galleryofguns.com. Search, find, buy. It really is just that easy.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of one football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. Shopguntalk.com.
It's the next generation target pistol, the SW22 Victory from Smith & Wesson. Stainless steel frame, interchangeable match barrel, thumb safety, fiber optic sights, and a Picatinny rail. The SW22 Victory is ready for anything, targets or small game. Also available with a threaded barrel or cryptic camo finish. And it's backed by the Smith & Wesson Lifetime Service Policy. Learn more about the SW22 Victory at smith-wesson.com.
I'm such a geek. Jim and I are here going, hey, man, we want to get this sidekick from SureFire. We went to the website and said, I can't see the special price. So during the break, I call Andrew back. I said, all right, how do I find this thing? And he said, oh, well, when you go to the SureFire.com website, there's a splash deal there that says Black or Black Friday. You click on that. So I went there and go, oh, okay, there it is. I'll get the $19.95 price on the Sidekick. And I'm literally on the page right now, and I'm literally going to buy a bunch of those. That's the best cool stocking stuffer, cool gift I've seen in a long, long time. Regularly $80, get them for $20. That's crazy. Those guys are nutso. But they make good stuff. Man, I do like their stuff. Let's see here. Chad is in Medford, Oregon on line 4. Hey, Chad, you made it on to Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom. I was calling about something that you touched on earlier. Was the mall shooting in Alabama, I think, back on Friday. Mm-hmm. Apparently, reports now are showing that a concealed permit carrier or concealed carrier with a permit had been shot by the police mistakenly.
Correct. They did not shoot the right. Originally, they said they shot the shooter. They did not.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I'm worried about your previous from SureFire. He was saying identifying a threat versus not a threat, and also on the concealed carrier side, if you get in a situation like this, it seems like both sides, the police and concealed carriers, should come to some kind of protocol or something like that, where if something like this goes down, that a good guy with a gun isn't killed by police mistakenly. I don't know what could be done on the law enforcement side, but there's got to be some kind of training that they could go through because as far as I'm concerned, I carry as often and as many places as I can, and there's millions of people just like me that do that, and I don't want any of us being killed by cops when we're trying to be the good guy with a gun in a bad situation.
Well, I agree with you completely, and I think it's worth a full-scale across the industry look to see what can we do about this and working with law enforcement. It probably was 10 years ago I started talking about something that bothered me at the time, and it's related, and that is when you see people training, police especially, and they're at the range, instead of saying draw, a lot of times the trainers will just yell gun. And the word gun basically is the go signal to shoot somebody. And at the time I said, this is a problem because there are a lot of us who have guns who are not the problem and we're not the bad guys. And just because we have a gun doesn't mean we should be shot.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well, because it almost seems like now with law enforcement, we have kids that get killed with airsoft guns, and as soon as a cop sees a gun a lot of times, and especially in certain areas of the country, the minute they see a gun, like California, it's a bad guy. He's got a gun, it must be a bad guy.
Yes, by default,
that's a horrible place for law enforcers to be.
Well, they'll say, well, if he's got a gun, he's a threat and I'm going to shoot him. I said, well, you've got a gun. Do I get to shoot you? It's like they look at you like you're speaking, some weird language or something. Well, no, you're saying that if somebody has a gun, they're a bad guy, and you're going to shoot them. Well, you carry a gun. I see you carrying a gun. Why is that different? Well, I'm a cop. I said, well, I'm a good guy. I'm not a threat. I'm not a problem. Well, how do I know that? I get that. Well, you're supposed to figure it out. It's not what I'm holding in my hand. It's what's the behavior. Sort it out. Get some training. Do it right. Now, on the other side of that is, as a law-abiding person, we the good guys here, and I've talked about this a lot over the last couple of weeks, we have to be aware of the threat, of the risk that comes with being a good guy with a gun. And when, if somebody's trying to shoot you, you do what you got to do. But when you say, I'm going to insert myself into a situation, somebody is shooting other people, you are opening the door for somebody else to see you with your gun and think you are the bad guy, whether it is a cop or another good guy. Consider that. So,
yeah, that is true.
It is a calculated risk, and it is not a small risk. When you choose to go get involved in a situation that doesn't involve somebody trying to hurt you or your family. Obviously, they're trying to hurt you and your family. You do what you got to do, and you're okay accepting the risk. If you say, yeah, but those two guys over there are fighting, and somebody's beating the crap out of somebody, and somebody's going to get killed, and I'm going to pull my gun out and put a stop to it. And just about the time you do is about the time when the off-duty cop rolls in. It's going to get ugly. And people have gotten upset with me, Chad, when I've said, I am not going to save you. They go, what are you talking about? Not my job. Not why I carry a gun. I am not there to protect you. I am not there to save you. I am there with my gun to take care of myself and my family. There may be a situation somewhere where I would choose to get involved, but it is not why I do this, and 9 times out of 10, I will not be getting involved. I will be going to be a good witness, and I'll call 911, but I'm not going to get shot by the police or another good guy to break up a fight out there or to stop something that's going on. Now, if somebody's shooting up a school full of a bus full of kids or shooting up a school, yeah, I'm probably going to go and flip a coin. There's a pretty decent chance I'm going to get hurt, but there's also a decent chance I could help. And you got to figure out where your line is. But I, to your point, and it's a very serious point, I don't want people to marginalize or minimize the risk involved in this stuff. And one of the places, that's where we do better by getting training. But I take your point, which is we, the gun-owning public, the 20 million of us who now carry guns, are licensed to carry guns, and sometimes don't need a license in a lot of states, carry guns for self-defense every day, need to be interacting with the police and say, you, the police departments of the country, need to change your protocols. You need to change your training. You need to stop using the command gun when you're training people to shoot. Just small things like that. And you need to let them know there are good guys around you all day long carrying guns. A bunch of the people you come in contact with or walk past or stand next to in McDonald's are carrying guns, and they're the good guys. And yeah, I understand they say, well, my job is to come home at the end of the day. Yeah, you know what? Mine too. So how are we going to work this out? You know, it's an issue, and I appreciate you bringing it up, Chad. It's important. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the call. Let's see. I got, you know what, Frank, don't go anywhere. I don't have time to get you in here. I think it would cheat you on your range report. I want to get this in. We got Frank and Talkeeton who's going to be joining us in a minute. And also we're going to get George. We'll get that in just a second here as well. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll get into you. It's interesting. When I work with law enforcement officers, and I work with a fair number of them, and law enforcement trainers, the ones I work with generally are the ones who are kind of top-level trainers. They think this stuff through. They work it through. And yet they will come back and tell me, and I'm not telling any cops out there something they don't already know, that there's a bell curve in every group, and they're the ones who are really good out there. There's the vast middle who are okay, and then you got the ones who are just not very good. And all of them carry guns. It's an issue. And it's, I think, to his point, Chad has a point. I think it's something that we, the gun-owning public, the gun-owning groups, need to get involved with and get serious about this, because I think it's a risk that we are undergoing, that there's something we can do about this. Do you have a take on that or a suggestion? Love to hear it.
This is Milo Lardbottom, Junior Under Assistant Deputy to the Assistant Director of Deputy Affairs for the Department of Homeland Security, with a special message for listeners of Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. We know who you are. We know where you are. You're right by your radio. We have special cameras that can see into your radio. I have a special monitor built into my aluminum foil helmet. We are watching you, so don't try anything funny, Buster.
Yeah, I love that one. Hey, Tom Gresham here. I think I swallowed wrong. Sorry about that. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. I'll tell you what, let's see. Paul called in from Palmer, Alaska. Can't wait for very long. So, Paul, we're going to get you in here first on line 2. How are you, sir?
Hey, thank you, Tom, for taking my call. I just wanted to tell you about a product that our security group, it's actually been ordered. I haven't actually used it yet. I believe it's from DSM Security. And what it is, it's a small sash. It's a small package that goes on your belt, typically in front of either on your left or your right, maybe in front of your concealed carry firearm. And after a shooting, you can take this and deploy it around you, and you can purchase it saying different things. Security team, off-duty officer. There's a number of banners that you can get. And it was recommended. I'm on a private security team with our church and school, and our trooper trainers recommended this to us. And so we've ordered them. I actually haven't used it yet, but we've ordered them, and I'm looking forward to it. But you might want to check it out. I believe it's DSM Security, maybe DSM Safety. One of those two websites will get you to the product.
I just looked it up. It's dsmsafety.com. It says they call them the Don't Shoot Me safety products.
Right.
Interesting.
Right.
Fascinating. So how did you end up getting on a church security team?
Well, it began as kind of an informal affair. We just realized that in this day and age that, we needed to form a group. So we formed an informal group, and then we went through the process of getting training, and we were able to hook up with a private security company who trains, who is actually run by the head trooper trainer for the state troopers here. So we went through that program, and then we moved that program over to our church school, and it's been well received by the parents. Anyway, it's a good program. The training has been great. It's required that we do not only have concealed carry permit, but we do annual training specific to our tasks. So it's been real good. And I take a look at that product. That might help a lot of folks who are concerned about that. I think it's going to be a real good product.
It's absolutely something to take a look at. I think it's something to consider. I appreciate the heads up on that. Thank you, sir, and I'm glad we were able to get you in there. Appreciate that. Let's see here. I want to get to, let me make sure I get the right one. Line 3, Frank's with us out of Talkeetna, Alaska. Hello, Frank. You're on Gun Talk.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning to you. I purchased my Hanukkah gift for this year. It is the Smith & Wesson 380 Shield EZ.
Now, that's interesting because, it's like just last week we had somebody call in and they were talking about how much they loved this Shield, the M&P Shield EZ, because it's in 380. So tell me why you bought it and what it is you love about it.
Well, number one, I heard the guy talking last week, and that said to myself, why don't I call in and give my 2 cents on the pistol? Okay. I love it. That's the bottom line. I love it. I've handled quite a few 380s. The workmanship is just perfect. The recoil is negligible. And I grade it B+. Now, the reason I don't grade it an A is in the instructions it says, don't you dare use plus P ammo in this gun. And that always gets me wondering why.
Well, I'm going to take a stab at it, okay? Because we know that the Shield is a strong gun itself. But to make it the Shield in a 380, they have to put a light spring in it. And here's my thought. I'm wondering if it's not just a case of this spring is not set up for plus P ammo. Right.
That's my take on it.
Okay.
Let me go on and say a few things I love about it. It's got the palm grip safety, like a 1911. It's got ambidextrous thumb safeties, and since I'm left-handed, I appreciate that. And something I don't hear much about, this pistol provides a loaded chamber indicator. Unobtrusive, but nice in the evening.
Okay. Now, I see in here that you'd like to put adjustable sights on it?
Yeah, I'm one of these nuts that would like to wring the utmost accuracy out of any pistol, and it's got a perfectly usable rear sight from the factory, but I would love to put a click adjustable on instead, and I wonder if you had any suggestions.
I don't have a brand suggestion, but I would say probably my first place that I would go in my search would be Brownell's website, just brownells.com, and see what they might have. Of course, I tend to be kind of utilitarian about it. I look at this as a hammer, and if it shoots to point of aim at 7 yards, that's all I need in a self-defense 380, and I wouldn't spend any time or effort or anything on it. It's a good, reliable, and rugged sight. But look, I appreciate the range report. That is terrific, and I've got to run because I'm over my break now. Thank you, sir. And George, don't go anywhere. You're up next, and we do have room for others. Let's see, Caden on deck. We're going to get there. We have room for you. 866-TALK-GUN.
It's America's favorite .22 rifle. No matter how, where, or what you like to shoot, there's a Ruger 1022 for you. From the carbine to the incredible takedown models, the tactical and target versions, all Ruger 1022 models have the legendary action and detachable 10-round rotary magazine. Whether you're hunting squirrels or tin cans, there's a lifetime of fun in every Ruger 1022 rifle. See them all at Ruger.com. That's Ruger.com.
Want great deals on guns, ammunition, and gear? Download the free Gun Dealio app today. With Gun Dealio, you can search for deals, listen to the Gun Talk podcast, watch gun videos, read gun news, and get notifications right to your phone about deals and special offers. Save money on the products you want from the companies you love. New deals, discounts, and rebates added daily. Gun Dealio, available for free in the App Store and Google Play.
Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. The time is now to band together. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
When the U.S. military's elite units and law enforcement agencies across the globe demanded innovation and reliability, they didn't settle. They chose Sig Sauer. When world champion professional shooters demanded precision accuracy, they didn't settle. They chose Sig Sauer. So it's no surprise more and more civilian gun owners are refusing to settle for anything less. They're choosing Sig Sauer firearms, ammunition, electro-optics, suppressors, air guns, and training. Sig Sauer. Never settle.
All right, back with the 866 Talk Gun. By the way, our last call was talking about that Smith & Wesson M&P 380 Shield EZ. Jim found a consumer advisory on the Smith & Wesson website. It says the reason that they say no plus P is because it says, like any firearm, the function of the M&P 380 Shield EZ manual thumb safety pistol can be influenced by the type and quality of ammunition used with the pistol. In the case of the M&P Shield EZ manual thumb safety, we have found that in very rare circumstances, ammunition that produces a high level of felt recoil can cause the manual safety to move from the fire to the safety on position during firing. Should this occur, you will not be able to fire the next round unless and until the manual safety is reset. In other words, you get the big heavy loads and it could cause the safety to go on and you would stop firing. Also, it looks like they did an upgrade on this pistol in April. So if you have a Shield M&P EZ manual thumb safety pistol before April 4, it's eligible for a no-cost upgrade. You can put the serial number in on the Smith & Wesson website. Good information, Jim. Thank you, sir, for running that one down. Let's see here. George, line 1 out of New Mexico. George, thank you for your patience.
Hey, Tom, thanks for having me on.
You bet.
So what I was going to talk about was your, not the previous caller, but the guy who was talking about law enforcement engaging with armed civilians. I'm a law enforcement officer myself.
Okay.
I've been an armed citizen prior to this. I'm actually originally from the UK, as you can probably tell from my accent. So I maybe have a unique perspective on this.
Okay.
What we've, I'm also a firearms trainer with the police, with my sheriff's office. And I've been a firearms trainer for over 20 years.
All right.
What we teach now is instead of saying gun, we say threat.
Good.
So that the officers and the deputies that we train are being trained to assess what the threat is and do they need to engage before.
That's excellent. Now, tell me, why did you make? Because did you used to train using gun as the command?
Not since I've been a law enforcement officer. No, and that's the last 8 years.
Okay.
I think the problem we have oftentimes is that we overgeneralize. There's a vast difference between where I'm a law enforcement officer in northern New Mexico, where guns are an everyday occurrence. We see them all day, every day. In fact, we expect just about everybody that we stop on traffic stops to have firearms in their vehicles. So we're not really fazed by it.
Okay.
It's a normal everyday thing. Your caller was mentioning about guys out in California who see people with airsoft guns and shoot. And I think that's an unfair characterization because, we literally have fractions of a second to determine, is this a real gun or is this not?
Absolutely. I get that.
And I think we do need to have a conversation about how do we identify good guys who are doing the right thing, because as we know, the FBI have released figures and documentation that shows that armed citizens stop far more, active killers than do law enforcement, because we get there after everything's done. But armed citizens are often there on scene and stop it escalating.
Mm-hmm. So how do we have the conversation between good guys like us who are carrying guns and we want to go home at the end of the day. You law enforcement guys want to go home at the end of the day. And you're right. You have a second or a fraction of a second to make a determination. So where do we start the conversation?
That's a great question, Tom. And I think the problem is oftentimes is that, as I think you mentioned earlier, the vast majority of firearms trainers and the vast majority of people who train in the civilian world are enthusiasts.
Yes.
And the average law enforcement officer and the average concealed carry holder, they're not the enthusiasts. Excuse me, I can point to numerous people I've met over the years. I actually train civilians in my off time, and I run classes called Beyond Concealed Carry, because the concealed carry classes basically say, give you enough information to get you into trouble, but they don't emphasize, the level of training that you need and to responsibly carry a firearm. And there's no slam on anybody that has a concealed carry permit, and it's no slam on the average law enforcement officer either. The problem is that when we get into events where we need to use our firearms, we're in a what we call a low-frequency, high-risk event. For most of us, driving our vehicle is a very high-frequency, low-risk event because we do it regularly.
Right.
But getting into a gunfight is a very high-risk, very low-frequency thing. It doesn't matter whether you're a law enforcement officer or
sure. That makes all the sense in the world. I agree.
So I would like to see is if we could, I don't know what the ideal medium is. I don't know if it's TV, through some of the great TV shows that are out there, like yours and on the Sportsman's Channel and other ones that are out there. I don't know whether it's social media, whether it's through the NRA. I'm not sure how we come to, a nexus, or how we get to the point where we can have this intelligent conversation. But I'm going to give your listeners some basic advice, which is if a law enforcement officer arrives on scene, he's going to take control of the scene. You just need to do what he says immediately.
Yes. Absolutely.
That is it.
And even more than that, I would add, when the police are arriving, if you hear sirens rolling, don't be holding a gun. I don't care what the situation is. Do not be holding a gun when they show up.
Right, unless there's an immediate threat to your life. But as soon as you see that law enforcement officer, drop that gun immediately. I mean, I know it's going to hurt people if they're, going to drop $1,000 Kimber on the ground. I empathize with people that do that, but absolutely don't, for goodness sakes, do not turn towards the officer with a firearm in your hand. That's
excellent point. Thank you so much. It's very thoughtful, good information. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. Be safe. By the way, I've been to gun schools where you take all the guns, take everybody's guns. We're going to put them over there on the gravel, and we're going to slide them around for a little bit. No, I'm not kidding. No, really. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You don't want your gun to get scratched. You need to be carrying a different gun. It's as simple as that. You ought to see people. They just freaking lose it. I love it. And we'll also put down, everybody put your guns down, go grab a gun, not yours, and then run it. Do a drill with it. If you can't do that, maybe you need just a little bit more exposure to different kinds of guns. And we're back with you. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in there. If we can't get you in this show, we'll get you in the after show. That's tons of fun, so you won't be a part of that. Line 1, line 4, Caden is with us in Salt Lake City. Hello, Caden. Thank you for your patience.
Hey, thanks, Tom, for taking my call.
Yeah.
I just had quick range report for you about the FN 509 Tactical and a question regarding 9mm ammo.
Okay.
So I just got an FN 509 Tactical earlier in my year and went out, did some Thanksgiving shooting with the family. It's an awesome gun. I love it. First couple shots were great. I was hitting targets 15 yards out, just keyholing them every time. And then I started running into some cycling problems, both with feeding and ejection.
Okay.
I'm just kind of wondering if you've heard anything about that.
Well, not with the gun, but I'm looking at my notes here. It looks like you were using the Remington UMC discount bargain basement ammo.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, typically that ammo is dirty. I mean, was your gun pretty dirty when you got finished?
Yeah, it was, because I did a pretty thorough cleaning of it when I first bought it, and then also right after, and I was actually kind of shocked because I didn't have a ton of time. I just put 100 rounds through it, and it was pretty dirty.
Yeah, and that's probably what's going on. Well, two things are going on. One is that the ammo is dirty, and two is that it's a brand-new gun. Brand new guns take a little bit of time to work in. Basically, you're burnishing all the parts, the slides, run back and forth, and smoothing out. I would keep it very heavily lubed for the next 200 or 300 rounds. Shoot the heck out of it, and really lube it a lot. Understanding that that's not going to be how you keep it lubed after that. But you want it's kind of like running a milling machine where you got oil pouring on the parts when you're doing the cutting.
Right.
It's kind of that same kind of a thing. You're basically wearing it in. And so a combination of when you get that done, you get it all cleaned up, and then you put just a few drops of oil on the slides and not much else. Then dirty ammo is just dirty ammo. It's cheap. And you know what? It's okay. You can use it for training. That's what it's for. If you have a malfunction, you do a tap rack, get it back in. That's not bad training as well. But if it's driving you crazy, switch ammo and see if you can find something that's a little bit cleaner burning.
Okay, great. Thank you for your help, John.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, you take care. Hey, if you'd like to be involved in the after show, give me a call right now. We can get you in 866-TALK-GUN. Also, we'll be telling some stories. Tom just returned to the studio, having gotten an 8-pointer. We're going to be talking. We may even drag him over to a mic and get him to tell that story. We were talking earlier. We had. I just don't want you to miss this. If you happen to miss the interview, we had Andrew Wright on from SureFire, the guys who make the world-class flashlights and all that. Really cool stuff. And they have this stunning thing going on right now. It's the Black Friday sale. And I'm not kidding. During the break, I went over and bought a bunch of them. So there's probably still some left. But I did. They've got their Sidekick flashlight, normally $80, now $20. So go to surefire.org. But you got to click on the Black Friday sale deal, and it'll get you in there. But this is a crazy 300 lumens on a keychain flashlight. It's nuts. You could use it for tactical, use it for finding stuff that you dropped, for whatever. But it's amazing. I'm going to use it as a stocking stuffer, as a gift for a lot of folks. So anyway, there should be some left after I took mine out of there. Surefire.org. It is the time of year when we're thinking about giving gifts. Let me suggest NRA membership for everybody on your list. No kidding, really. Also, firearms training along with a gun. If you're giving somebody a gun, give them some training as well. Concealed carry training, hunter safety training, or advanced type training. That's a gift that keeps giving a lifetime. In the meantime, you know what? You're allowed to give yourself a gift. Don't forget to get the Gun Dealio app also, because we got a lot of great deals there. And we'll see you next week.